everyone, welcome back to Ishika Foundations. Today we are going to discuss another topic, that is elections. If we go deeper, first of all, these elections in our constitution are there from the article 324 to 329. So each and every part like 25, 26, 27, each has its own meaning. So let's understand it in a deeper way. So the very first thing in the article 324, it has Election Commission of India. We already knew that it is an independent constitutional body and it has its own powers such as superintendence, direction, and control of elections. And he was appointed by the president. All the details were like given here. But then the other thing is like Article 325, where the voters list per each kind of constituency will be mentioned and will only be there. Only one electoral reform will be there, not the other two or three. Only one will be present. This will be coming under the consideration of 325. And the third thing is the equality in the electoral franchise. This is also 325. These two are belonging to only one category, whereas equatorial franchise means irrespective of your caste, race, sex, religion, you are supposed to vote if you are, eligible. If you're not eligible, that is secondary, but you must have to vote when you are eligible. The fourth thing is adult franchise. Any person who is above 18 years should definitely be voting to any kind of votings that which were available. It might be the panchayat, it might be anything. And the fifth thing is the powers of parliament. So basically, we will be also having parliamentary elections and also state legislative elections, right? So here in meantime, what is the point is uh, parliament can make any kind of reforms when the elections are going to be happen for the parliament and also for the state legislature. And what kind of laws that parliament can make? It can make the laws based on the electoral reforms or any kind of delimitation. Delimitation is basically now any kind of elections are happening in particular area, the constituencies. Constituency is equals to the area. How many areas or what how the area is divided, that decisions can be taken by the parliament. And election conduct, like the code of conduct was has to be followed and what not to be followed, will be determined by the election commission, sorry, determined by the parliament. And the powers in the state legislature are only particularly limited to the state elections itself, not the parliamentary elections. And the other thing is like delimitation and code. Basically any kind of delimitation laws which were made cannot be challenged or questioned in courts, because delimitation commission orders are itself the final. The other, if you have any complaint with the constituency is not aggregating, you can't complain in court, because there's a separate commission for the delimitation, and the delimitation whatever it do, that is only the final thing. And the election disputes, if you feel like the elections are happened in very unfairly and there any kind of disputes you have seen, so then what you have to do is you can't directly go to go to Supreme Court or High Court directly, but you can only go after the elections through a process called as election petition, and that will be happening trialed in High Court and appealed in Supreme Court. So basically, there's a particular case, that is Chandrakumar case. So in this court, what has happened? So in generally, we all know that normal district level courts will be there, and High Court will be there, and Supreme Court will be there. So in this process, what will be happening? So if any kind of particular tax case or service case is going on, if it is taking too much of time, the Supreme Court and High Court will not be having that much of time to in detailly search or like this number. It takes a time, but some point of cases need to be done or solved on spot, like within 2 months it has to be solved, any kind of service or tax cases. So at that time there will be a separate election, not The courts will be there. Those are this tribunal case courts. So in this tribunal courts, what will be there? It is also a quasi-judicial format only. It is also a court only, but the other form of court which are not included and which are established by the High Court and the Supreme Court. So what happened at that time in this Chandrakumar case? Whatever the tribunals has mentioned, it is only not final. Even though tribunals also cannot go against the Supreme Court or the High Court, the tribunals are the highest form. The tribunals are the highest form was thought by this Chandra Kumar person, but then the High Court and the Supreme Court has adjourned that no matter what the place is, the Supreme Court and High Court only will be the supreme, no matter what. These tribunals are just the temporary to solve the basic structures, but the most important thing will only be this High Court and Supreme Court. And election machinery. Election machinery is basically what are there in this election commission, what kind of officers are there, that we will be discussing. So the first person is Election Commission of India. So in this, one chief election commissioner will be there and two election commissioners will be there. He will be appointed by the president. His main duty is to, guide and give directions to control over the elections. It is the top constitutional authority of the Constitution of India. It is the supreme. Overall India, that is only the toppest one. And the second toppest one will be the CEO, which is basically Chief Electoral Officer. He will be in the state level. The both this election commission person and this chief electoral person has the same rights, same authorities, but in a state level. This chief electoral person is from the state level and this person is from the overall India, the entire India. And this district election officer will be has the same thing, but he will be authorized only in the district level, and he is appointed here. The chief election officer is appointed by the state government or the UT government, yet Union and Territories government, but he is appointed by the President of India. He is appointed by the state person, and the district, he will be appointed by the officer of state government, and he will be working under these two persons, the CEO and ECI. In between these two persons, he will be working under, and he will also be working to supervise the election work within a state level, within the district level. Okay, and the other is like returning officer. Returning officer is the person, who will declare results, count votes, conduct polling, accept nomination papers. These are his main duties, and he is a local body. He is authorized local body, and he will be appointed by this chief election, like CEI, chief election commissions of India. I'm sorry. Okay, and the next thing, like he will be helping a lot. He will only conduct the elections, he will only publish the results, he will only look after the nominations in the local level. Like in the local level, what kind of a work has to be done will be only done by this returning officer, RO. And the other person is like ERO. ERO is the person who will be preparing the voters list, like who has to vote in this special constituency will only be decided by the ERO person, and he is appointed by the government. He is appointed by the Election Commission of India in the state level. Okay, and yeah, this is like the short form, where first the Election Commission of India will be there in the national level, ECO in the state level, DEO in the district level, and RO in the constituency level, and ERO, who is the person who will be keeping the voters list and all. Okay, and the other thing is like the observers at the time of elections and on the day of elections, what can be happening or what has to be happened, what need to be observed will be decided by the election commission of India, right? So for that they need some persons who can observe. So the general observer are the person who will be observing like all, but they have divided in a micro level. The first person will be expenditure observer. election spending, how much each political party is spending and how much they actually need to pay and how much they are paying now, that. And the police observer, these will be mostly IPS officer, they will be following the law and order and they will be observing whether the elections are going free and fairly or not. And the awareness observers are the persons who will create an awareness in the local, the rural background areas, where they give the guidance to the people by stating that ki what actually, how actually is the elections important and importance of the democracy, who are a little uneducated, for them the awareness will be going. And the micro observers are the persons who is really important, where basically inside the polling booth, inside the polling station, when they are voting, is there any kind of disturbance happening, or is there any kind of malpractice, or is there any kind of illegal thing is happening, whether they are voting it properly, or they are pressing the two buttons or something like that in the election, in the machine of that election, will be decided by these micro observers. And the expenditure observers are the persons who will be only focused on the videography and complaints. They will register all the complaints that which they will be observing and give a proper report to the election commission of India, and election commission will be explaining in the step by step process. So election time is like for every 5 years one time the elections will be happening. Before that they will be scheduling one kind of date, or on which date every person has to be vote, and in which time the elections are going to happen, that will be decided by the election commission by following all the possible models of conduct. Okay, and the other thing is like nomination, notification and nomination. Nomination is basically, if you want to participate in this elections, first of all you will fill it, and the other thing is like they will scrutinize, and if you are not interested, or if you want to withdraw, you can even withdraw also. And election campaigning will be happening for minimum 2 weeks, and before 48 hours no polling, because the voters need their time to analyze and to scrutinize themselves to which political party they want to vote. And polling is a place where you will be voting in a very secret ballot. And voting voting can be done by the EVM machines, which say like one person one vote will be there. And counting in results, RO is the person who will declare the results by using the system first past the post. And the other thing is like election petition. If you are not satisfied with the elections which was conducted by the Election Commission of India, you can file a case and the petition to the Supreme Court. And if Supreme Court decides that the elections were literally not happened properly, then repolling will be happening. And EVMs. The EVMs are the most advantageous one, because initially there used to be many kind of robbery, or many kind of malpractices and disturbance. Unfair elections used to be happen when you are using the paper. But then when this EVMs has came, the life became very easier for the election commission people, because this has more advantage, where you will be not getting any kind of unfair practices so often. That's it. Thank you so much.